huge chasms that are out there. One of the things that I've heard from the superintendents in our area is that without additional funding, they will have to make cuts. Even with what is proposed in the budget today, the school district, our largest school district that I'm talking about right here, will have to make further budget cuts. When I mentioned about the pre-K education for the 4-year-olds, I mentioned that they had it in 3 of the elementary schools. They have a total of 9 elementary schools, and they desperately need it in the rest of the schools to be able to help work on closing the gap in those areas, but they don't have the money for it unless we provide it. The question that's come to me is, over the years as a legislature, we've funded ballparks. We've been able to tackle things when we've had deficits. We now have a surplus. They're asking, when are the kids going to get their turn? And I think this is the opportunity that we have now. While there's $400 million that's out there, it doesn't go far enough. I support where the governor is coming from and say we need to do more. Our kids deserve more. And that's why I'm asking that we vote red on this.
The gentleman from Hennepin, Representative Mullery.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I guess I'd approach this as, when I was growing up, there was a common phrase that when you had games, and it was, put your money where your mouth is. And that brought to mind, this bill brought that to mind. I've said before, the Republicans, everywhere I went last fall, were running on, they were going to close the achievement gap and make huge investments in early childhood, and now seem to be running away from those commitments. Representative Loon, you said you had a laser beam on closing the achievement gap, and I think you started off with that, but your laser beam ran out of juice. Basically, this is kind of, we're behind probably over 30 top countries in the world, and we have to start catching up. And we're not going to do it with a Model T Ford when we could be doing a Lamborghini. I was shocked to look at the actual percentages of what we're investing. You said we're prioritizing early childhood. Out of a $2 billion surplus, your bill is investing $67 million roughly. There's a little bit else, but roughly 67. That's actually 3.5% of the surplus. Now that does not seem to me